All right, so here we go with James 2:2. For if a man comes into your assembly with a gold ring and is dressed in bright clothes, and a poor man in dirty clothes also comes in. So he breaks it here. It's a comma. He's getting ready to set the stage for an illustration here. So let's go ahead and back this up, because this is as far as we're going to get in this video. Now, James 1:1, he's talking to all believers. So a lot of the other letters from Paul and some of the other guys were written to a specific church or person for a specific reason or issue or whatever they were dealing with at the time. So this is not the case with James. He's talking to all believers. So if somebody walks into your assembly, your congregation, your church, your synagogue, whatever it might be, with a gold ring and dressed to the nines, right? He had bright, brilliant, flashy clothes. He was finely dressed, okay? And you got a poor man that walks in dirty or filthy clothes. Now, James also used the word filthy when he talked about us getting rid of the things of the world. Is take a shower, do all that type of stuff, get yourself cleaned up. That was in James 1:21. He also used that same filthy idea. So now with this, remember James, younger brother of Jesus, the guy who died for all of our sins. So James and Jesus, they grew up together, same house. Now, and I'm sure they went to the same high school and they knew all the same kids. So in your mind, just real quick, picture that one kid in high school who had all the brands. You know the kid I'm talking about, right? He had the jet ski and he was rich, had the house on the top of the hill. That's the kid we're talking about. So again, James is trying to set us up for a bigger picture. So he's saying, now picture this rich guy. How does he act? How does he treat people? That's the person I'm talking about in the fine clothes. And that guy in the dirty clothes, the poor kid in class, how does he act? How does he treat other people? What are some of his characteristics? So he's comparing these two groups of people, or in our minds, two actual people, because we're picturing what type of person James is talking about, because he's going to get ready to make another point here. So let's go on back to 1 Samuel 16. Now, this is when the prophet Samuel went to Jesse's house, and Samuel was going to anoint a king. So he asked Jesse, bring all your sons in here. We're going to find a king. And so he went from the oldest all the way down to the youngest, and God was all like, no, he's not it, he's not it, he's not it. He came to the last one, and nope, he's not it either. And so he asked Jesse, he's all like, okay, something's up. You got another kid that's not here? He's all like, oh yeah, well, I got David, but he's out in the field. So brings David in, and he's the one that's going to be the next king of Israel. It's about 1,000 years before Jesus, give or take a few. I'm just rounding the numbers to make it easier on the brain. So in 1 Samuel 16, it does say God looks on the inside of the person, not on the outside. So when we're walking through life and we're looking at people on the street, in the church, at school, at work, wherever it might be, are we shooting for that godly view of looking at what's on the inside of the person, or just what's on the outside? Now, many times, what's on the inside comes out in actions and in words. And James does say, at the end of James 1, he does say the tongue is the last thing to get saved. So the words that people use gives us a big tip as to what's going on the inside, whether they're living the godly life or not. So again, we're to look on the inside as best as we can. We get hints. We're not God, so we're doing the best we can. But remember, think about these two people, the rich guy and a poor guy. Think about their characteristics.